mentally ill. Man, but COVID's near, it's coming to town. We gotta act quick, shut our borders down. Joe Biden does, the media embraces. Big Dom does it and they call it
racist. All right, man, welcome into the Clay Edwards Show. Figure I'd get our blood flowing just a little this morning with some Kid Rock. All right, man, you tuned into the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. You know what it is. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here on 103.9 WYAB. It is a beautiful hump day. It's going to be a hot one again today, guys. And this is a live show, by the way. I know I played this song last Wednesday after the primaries. I got to thinking about that. I was like, I don't want y'all to think this is a rerun. I am live here on whatever the date is. What is today? Good Lord. I've lost track of reality. I'm going to tell y'all, today is the 15th. Well, look, man, welcome into the show. If you want to chime in, the Mack Hike of Flowood Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram phone line is 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. One more time. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. And I have been getting some questions about the other host and the text line across the platform, because this is just one that I kind of started when I started doing the show a long time ago. I am welcome to donating mine to the cause, but I think we're going to try to set up another text line for everybody to use, so you'll be able to text in during the shows. But we all got to get together and get on the same page, and I'll let you know. But hey, in the meantime, if you text one of the other guys or if you text me during one of their shows, I will gladly forward said text message to them. So never feel like you can't text me anytime. I do not mind. I love talking with you folks. I may not always get to reply, but I know Miss Sylvia sends me a Bible verse and a Bible study stuff every day, and I really do appreciate that. I don't always get a chance to reply, but I always read y'all stuff. So much thanks. The reason I don't reply, by the way, is my shop, Auto Armor. It's in a metal building right by the airport. So if I have the shop door closed so I can somewhat use the air conditioning, which is kind of a hard job this time of year, poor air conditioner, I have no phone service in there. So I have to go out to the middle of the parking lot and bake to reply to a text message or answer a phone call. So I promise I'm not intentionally ignoring people, but the best way to get in touch with me is via text message, so I can at least reply at my convenience or when I'm back where I have phone service. So anyway, just a heads up there. I promise I'm not ignoring anybody. I made about 5 little sentences here on my notepad for show prep, and I'm going to throw that out the window. Coming up at 7:25, we're going to have Benny Ivey with Strong Arms of Rankin County. Come on, they got a big car and bike show, or a big bike show this weekend, big fundraiser. We're going to talk to Benny for a minute. It's always great conversation. Try to put Clay and Benny and tell us to only talk for 10 minutes is going to be hard. We normally go down too many rabbit holes to only do that for 10 minutes. I think we've done several 3-hour-long podcasts. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, we got Benny Ivey coming up. And I do want to ask him about some other stuff, too, that's going on around here. But look, with all that said, one of the things that I got to thinking about was after our conversation with Douglas Carswell with the Mississippi Center of Public Policy yesterday, he has this 5-point plan. And look, and I think all that's great. I think in a normal world, that would 100% work. You would just write, okay, here's our blank slate. Let's write down how we're going to save Jackson. And this is it. This is where we're going to start. Okay, well, that works. But then there's the reality of a city like Jackson, Mississippi. And it's any of these Democrat hellscapes like Jackson, Canton, Vicksburg, Natchez, Greenwood, Greenville, Memphis, etc., Chicago, is what you can't roadmap, what you can't put on a slideshow, is the fact that the citizens are soulless. Soulless goblins. Goons, ghouls, monsters. They don't care. When you have a city so ate up with hate that you have 14 and 15-year-olds out killing 12-year-olds, brother, I was talking with somebody last night, and I always hate not being able to say people's names on the radio, but I never know if they want their conversations made public, so I avoid doing that. And we're 100% on the same page with the core. What is the Kamala Harris like to call it? The root problem, the root cause. The root cause of Jackson's problems are very simple. They ain't no Big Mama no more. Big Mama is 35 years old entering the graduation twerk fest. You know, you have 2, 3 full generations of kids raised by nobody. I mean, just kind of pawned off on people. Now, did that justify the absolute terrible behavior? No, still does not, in my opinion. But it's just, I mean, I hate to use animal kingdom type analogies, but it's kind of like that. Because at the end of the day, man, we're humans. We think we're above all that. We're animals. And I don't know any other way to say it. We're very emotional creatures. It's fight, it's flight. We're very emotional creatures. We're just the internet going out away or being hit by EMP away from it turning back into the animal kingdom around here for everybody. And, adjust accordingly, prepare accordingly. But you have this whole group of people in Jackson who they don't play by the same rules. They don't play by man's law. They play by their law. It's kill or be killed, to quote Mississippi Mafia. Man, growing up in the 90s in Jackson, we used to listen to gangster rap, and, but we knew it was just it was just music. I had no idea the brain rot that rap music would cause, and that how it would become so much more than just music. And I'm bouncing around a little bit here. I'm just kind of freestyling this morning. But it sure didn't it? I mean, the music, the lifestyle that we glorified in the 90s growing up, the drug dealing, the sex, all that stuff, the killing, all the stuff we were seeing in movies and in music. You thought people were crazy. What was her name? Tipper Gore? Well, Tipper Gore was a real trailblazer, wasn't she? I mean, it's sad that we got to look back now in 2022 and be like, damn, Tipper Gore was right. Tipper Gore was right. And I'm a free speech guy. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I wish I could get on the radio and cuss. Sometimes you just need to use a 4-letter word to get your point across. I've replaced my 4-letter word with mind-boggling. If y'all ever hear me say mind-boggling, that's really a 4-letter word in my head. I just can't think of anything radio-friendly to replace it with. It's just mind-boggling. I'm going to put that on a T-shirt. But that's how I feel. It's like we celebrated this lifestyle. I mean, this is a lot of Gen X's fault. This is on us. Mike Madison talks about the economic issue being the boomers and Gen Xers' faults. But I definitely think that the cultural rot in America is Gen X's fault. We kind of started this, and we're the reason that we have this cultural rot right now. We got a call on the Matt Kike of Flowwood phone line. Hey, caller, you're on there.
Clay, you talk about that music. Do you remember back when Phil Donahue and everybody went after heavy metal?
Yes.
Talking about worshiping the devil and all this, but then when the rap come out, well, it's a cultural thing. And they didn't attack it. There's been people that attacked it. Even some of the black artists and stuff has gone after it, and they got persecuted for saying anything about it. And I don't know if you've listened to any of the stuff that's out now.
I can. It's terrible. And I mean, I know every generation says that, but it really is terrible.
It's horrible. I don't listen. Like I said, that's like I go watch CNN and see, just where are they drinking this Kool-Aid from? and it's just like the music now is even worse. I mean, like the Wolf, whatever it was, that won all the awards last year. It's sickening.
Well, you know, man, I like rap music. I'll be the first person to say, man, I still listen to some Master P, some 8 Ball and MJG, some 3-6 Mafia. I still love Southern rap music.
I got some Snoop Dogg and Outkast I still listen to. I listen to a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of that music was, you know, some of it, you know, like the Outkast, a lot of that was good dance music and stuff. I mean, look,
I'd be a hypocrite, and I admit to being a hypocrite. You know, I made a lot of money for a long time off playing, off contributing to the culture, right? And I mean, I did with the clubs and with all that. And if I could take all that back, I would. But when you're young, you don't think about it. You don't think about the consequences of repercussions of the things you're doing. And when people throw that back in my face, now I'm like, no, you're 100% right. But it's never too late to try to right your wrongs.
That's right.
And that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to kind of right my wrongs a little bit. But I'm telling you that. What did we think when we were riding around?
Great show.
Hey, I appreciate it, brother. Have a blessed one.
I'm gonna jump off here, man. You too. Be blessed.
All right, man. You too. You know, what did we think about? What did we think was going to happen when we were riding around bumping NWA? I can't even say some of the names of the songs on here. What did we think the next phase of that was going to be? And then you evolve from NWA to the Southern hip hop, and we know where all this stuff is catered to, you know, younger teenagers at the end of the day. And it's all about sex, violence, drug dealing. I mean, it's no different than, if we're being honest here, you know, if we're just being 100% honest, it's no different than if you go to the movie theater and you're a kid and you watch Top Gun. You're like, oh man, I want to grow up and be a Top Gun pilot. You don't think there's kids growing up in similar environments to what they're hearing on the music? You know, you grow up in the inner city of Jackson and you hear all the hip hop and the drug dealing and all that, and you think, oh, that's a way out. I can do that. Or I can do what they're saying on there. All right, man, we got another call on the Matt Cliker Flowwood phone line. We got Derek. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Clay, what's going on, man? You and I both know this music is garbage. Now, you can get on there and just say a couple things, download some already pre-recorded beats, and all of a sudden you're a trap artist. And now, as much as I don't care for Gene Simmons, Hiram, whatever his name is from Kiss, he made one good point, though. He said none of these guys deserve a Grammy. He said because they don't have any instrumental talent. I have to agree with Gene Simmons on that one. These guys actually get Grammys and music awards for doing absolutely nothing.
Oh yeah,
but mixing pre-recorded beats that they didn't even make themselves. No, and we call that art now. Come on, give me a break.
I agree, brother. I agree. All right, Derek. Yeah. I got to jump to the break real quick, brother. Holla back. Appreciate Derek calling in there. Hey, look, we got to take a break real quick. When we come back, I'm going to have Benny Ivey, Strong Arms of Rankin County, on the phone. You're listening to The Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back on 103.9 WYAB.
America, you love your country, so it goes without saying that you also love your ride. And Auto Armor in Flowwood wants to help you make that ride shine. Auto Armor in Flowwood is Central Mississippi's premier automotive detail and ceramic coating shop, servicing any type of vehicle, including ATVs, boats, and more. Need just a quick detail or paint correction? Auto Armor can make it happen. But if you're set to hit the road in a blaze of glory while flying the old red, white, and blue, Auto Armor should be your first and last call to give your ride a full ceramic coating. Auto Armor is locally owned and operated by the loud and proud American patriot Clay Edwards. Auto Armor also proudly backs the blue, all military and first responders. So don't forget to ask for your discount. Call 601-260-0858. 601-260-0858. Or stop in today, fellow Americans. Auto Armor is located at 4394 Mangum Drive in Flowwood. Online at AutoArmorMS.com. Auto Armor, unapologetically American.
All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment is going to be brought to you by Watkins Construction and Roofing. A roof repair can cause you a lot of stress. Choosing the right roofing company to repair your roof is very important. Most contractors will try to convince you that replacement is the only way to go, and that, my friends, is not the Watkins way. They believe in an honest assessment that doesn't necessarily mean replacement. In most cases, all you need is a repair. So give Watkins Construction Roofing a call today for your complimentary roof assessment at 601-966-8233 or check them out online, watkinsconstructioninc.com. All right, man, I got a special treat for you guys on the Mac Hike of Flowwood phone line. I've got my good friend, my brother from another mother, Mr. Benny Ivey. Hey, Benny, good morning.
What's up with you, brother? How you doing this morning, man?
Man, slave to the grind, brother, slave to the grind. Hey, before we jump into your fundraiser this weekend, I don't know if you were listening to the show or not, but my opening rant was just about Gen X, our group growing up, man, and glorifying hip hop and all the sex and drugs and violence and all that in the music. And I think that our generation has a lot of the blame to shoulder when it comes to what we promoted in music and movies and all that stuff. And all that plays a part in a situation of the culture that Jackson, Mississippi is dealing with right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's right.
You know, just kind of shooting from the hip here,
man. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I was just kind of shooting from the hip this morning, just freestyling a little, man, and kind of went down that rabbit hole. And I was like, we shoulder a lot of the blame for the culture that we're so angry at.
That's right, man. Look, man. So I tell people all the time, I grew up, everybody by now pretty much knows how I grew up. I was raised by drug addicts. They didn't guard what I listened to. They didn't pay attention to none of that stuff. They let me do as I wanted, when I wanted, how I wanted. And I grew up listening to, started out with NWA, then I went to Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and DMX, and that's the music I listened to, man. And I slung dope, and I stayed, and I got involved in gangs, and I ended up spending all my juvenile years in training schools and 11 years in prison. We act according to the music we listen to for the most part. There is these occasional people that listen to music and don't act that way, but the majority do. And nowadays they listen to the NBA Youngboy and the Pooh Shiesty and these rappers that, these kids are idolizing these rappers, man. Some of these kids don't have fathers in the homes, and even the ones they do, they're just going along with the crowd. And, these rappers these days really are shooting people.
They really are.
When we were coming up, they really are, bro. When we were coming up, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, they wasn't shooting nobody. They might have was in that game before, but they were studio gangsters then. They done left that stuff and started making money. Now, you can go back to the Biggie and Tupac thing. That's an exception. You know what I mean? But nowadays, these rappers are really doing what they're rapping about. And these kids see the YouTube fame. They see the stardom that these rappers are getting. And these days and age, look, we've worked with so many kids, man, and they are quick to run to the bathroom to take a picture to put on Instagram. That's all they care about. Social media status, the likes, the shares, the comments. And when they see the NBA Youngboy getting rich and famous with the murder rap and really shooting people and getting away with it because he has money, then that's just fuel to the fire. You got kids around Jackson. And I'm going to say something that's unpopular amongst a lot of your listeners, right?
Yeah.
There's a curse in Jackson called open carry. Now, I believe open carry is good for citizens. I'm not a gun control advocate. I believe if you take guns away from citizens, then the criminals are still going to have guns, because I was a criminal. I never paid for a gun. I always had one, right? But in Jackson, you got 15, 16, 17-year-olds running around with guns on their side because the police can't ask them about them because 18 and older, you can have one. Police don't know how old these people are. And so it's the wild, wild west. They get into a disagreement. They bumping Youngboy. That's what they listen to. That's what they're conditioned to. They all got guns on their sides. We walked up in Rebelwood and Wood Village apartments recruiting kids for our program. And 15, 16-year-olds, all of them got guns on their sides. That needs to stop. You know what I'm saying? And so they has to be they got to be some common sense, man. Some common sense. Like Maryland Mumba, I might not agree with a lot of his policies. I'm more of an independent. I don't believe in the whole Republican, Democrat bullcrap. But he tried to do away with open carry just in the city, and he caught all type of hell about it. All type of hell about it. But those kids don't need guns on their sides in Jackson. It's obvious every day in the news. You know what I mean? So when they bumping this Youngboy and bumping this Pooh Shiesty, and I agree with it, it's our fault. We're the one that made this rap music mainstream. But they bumping this stuff. They don't have no conflict resolution skills. They don't have nobody teaching them no better, and they all got guns on their sides. What's going to happen?
They're going to start living that life.
That's right.
People
They start living that life, man.
Benny,
that's my take on it.
I know, and you're 100% right, and it's a tough thing because you can't come out and say, all right, well, we just can't let these young black kids not tote guns on their side,
Right.
even though that is a majority of the people committing the crime, but you can't say that. I mean, I won't ever say that. I would never agree to nothing like that.
That's right.
So it puts you in this.
Marilyn Mama did, like last year, he didn't say that. He just said, I want to ban open carry in the city of Jackson.
But then you got
hell.
But then you got people that want to. But then you got people that want to protect themselves from them kids, and it just this circle. This circle of violence.
Right,
It just keeps going.
That's why I believe there should be permits. You should have to take a test to get a permit to open carry. Then the civilians and the citizens, they have a right to have their gun on their side and protect themselves. But when just anybody can put a gun on their side, that's a recipe for disaster in Jackson.
Absolutely. Well, look, one more thing before we talk about your event, and it just the quickest, shortest answer you can give on it. I see where Lumumba is going to create an office for violence interruption. Is that going to involve you guys?
Yeah. So we brought violence interruption to Jackson. So we have our Credible Messenger program, which is our program we work with the youth, and the violence interrupter is a separate entity, right? And me and my brother Taron, my co-director, we were going to do the violence interruption, but we ended up with so much on our plate, we kind of like subcontracted that out to an organization called Operation Good. And so right now they are the sole violence interrupter program in Jackson. Now, a violence interruption program is it's modeled to have a program in each community, because what it is a violence interrupter is a credible messenger. A credible messenger is like me, somebody that has been down them roads and has made something out of themselves, had that change of mindset and left that life alone and have done something with themselves.
An OG that survived the game and is coming back to try to save kids from going down the same path.
That's right. Now, a violence interrupter is somebody that is in their own neighborhood, that are known in their neighborhood, have influence in their neighborhood. Everybody knows them, and they got their boots on the ground all day, every day, mediating violence. They know when Tyrone got a problem with Billy over here, so we need to get Tyrone and Billy and see what's going on before something bad happens. That is what violence interrupters do, and it's proven to work up in New York and Chicago and California in the specific neighborhoods where it's implemented. So right now we have a violence interruption program specifically in one area of South Jackson, and the shootings and stuff has drastically stopped in that particular area. But Jackson's big. We need violence interrupter programs in the Verdon Addition. We need violence interrupter programs in Georgetown. We need them in West Jackson, South Jackson, North Jackson. We need one in every community.
For everywhere that there's somebody throwing up their set, there needs to be a violence interrupter.
That's right. There needs to be some violence interrupters, bro. Because you know me, look, I'm pro law enforcement and I'm pro people. I believe everybody has their role in stopping violence. I believe that, when it comes to police officers, their job is to arrest whenever a crime has been committed. They got too much on their plate to be mental health experts. They got too much on their plate to be counselors. They're not none of that. We need people in place that can stop the crap happening before it happens. We need people in place that know the neighborhood, the people know, that can talk to, have good relationships in the neighborhoods, that can stop the stuff before it happens. Everybody has their role, and I believe wholeheartedly if we really embrace this violence interrupter program in the communities of Jackson, we'll see a decrease in violence. It's an uphill battle now. We deal with kids every day. We deal with shooters every day.
I mean, look, y'all are boots on ground, man. That's why I always give you a platform, because you walk it like you talk it, and I know that to be fact. I know a lot of people like to sling mud on this deal, but I've seen it work. I know you personally. I know your commitment to it, and that's why it's something. It's one of the few things that the kind of came along with the Lumumba stuff that I can't just constantly throw salt and say everything's a bad idea.
Yeah.
This is something that I like.
I think a lot of the problem with it, Clay, is that too many people pick sides on political things on every issue. So yeah, I think President Biden backs violence interrupter programs. So does Mayor Lumumba, right? But since they're big-time Democrats, you got a bunch of people that cling so hard to the right that flat out ain't going to ride with it, period. It don't make a damn if it works. It don't matter if it's, it's just some people are that way. But, man, we got to learn, and this is everybody. I had to learn this. I used to be hardcore right. I used to just hate Obama because of Obamacare fining me every daggum tax time. But I learned, man, everything ain't in black and white. There's a big gray area, huge gray area, and that's where I live. I live in the gray. And that's where all the answer's at, man. You just can't ride so hard with one side just because you know what I mean? But that's where a bunch of the the skepticism about our program is. You can look at the numbers. Credible messenger programs in Washington, D.C. neighborhoods have stopped recidivism rates of kids by 60%. That's big. You know what I mean? And so people that just want to be naysayers just because some Democrats back the programs, man, they need to really research this and understand. Look, I got a plumbing company. If you need a plumber, who you going to call?
A plumber.
You're going to call a plumber. If you need an electrician, who you going to call?
Electrician.
You're going to call an electrician. If you got kids smoking dope and throwing up gang signs, who you need to call? Somebody that has smoked dope and thrown up gang signs and has made it back from that side of life to teach these kids not to make the same mistakes we made. It's that simple. I believe that with all my heart.
Benny, will you stay on hold through the break with me and come back and promote this event?
I will.
Give me 3 minutes. We're going to take a break real quick, and we'll be right back here on the Clay Edwards Show. Benny Ivey on the phone with us. We'll be right back on 103.9 WYAB. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. We're going to jump right on back in with Benny Ivey here on the Mac Hike of Flowood phone line. Benny, is it Strong Arms, Mississippi, Strong Arms, Rankin County? Which branch of Strong Arms is throwing the event this weekend?
It's Strong Arms of Mississippi, man. We actually rebranded the whole thing because we have a Strong Arms of Jackson, and then we built a Strong Arms of Rankin County. And I just feel like God put it on me to spread these programs everywhere, not just in these two spots. So once we get planted real good in Rankin County, we'll be moving on to, I'm going to try to find some people in Madison County that want to do it, Smith County, Simpson County, just the surrounding areas. So we rebranded to Strong Arms of Mississippi.
Well, we got a text on the Guns and Gear text line from Zach in Jackson. He goes, I listened to Mr. Ivey share his testimony at Celebrate Recovery at Fondry Church. What a powerful story of God's love, mercy, grace, and patience. Truly, no soul is too far gone. Amen. And I just thought I would share that with you. All right, so look.
Appreciate that, brother.
Yes, sir. So it's this Saturday and Sunday, June 17th and 18th?
It's this Friday and Saturday, June
okay.
17th and 18th. Yeah, so Friday, it's a bike rally, and it's being thrown by Trinity Wesleyan Church in Byram. And let's see, Broken Chains, Hellfighters. They're inviting all the local Celebrate Recovery programs. They're expecting anywhere from 150 to 200 bikes to show up on Saturday. Friday evening, it'll be from I think it'll start about 3 in the afternoon. I'll actually be there Friday evening to share my testimony. And we'll go have some worship with Giving Grace. I think we'll have dinner on the grounds. It'll roll to about 9:30. But then Saturday, the 18th, is when the bike rally and everything's actually happening. Everything's going to begin around 10 or 10:30. And it's going to roll to about 7 o'clock that night when Seventh Day Slumber plays in concert.
They're great.
Yeah, they're awesome, bro. And they've agreed to give their time to come down here and play. Man, it's awesome, man. But the charity ride. It's going to benefit Strong Arms of Mississippi and Byram Celebrate Recovery. It's going to start around 1:30 or so. They'll be blessing the bikes and the cages around noon, have lunch on the grounds around 12:30 or so, and then the bikes are going to take off about 1:30 to 3:30. And then we'll have some praise and worship with a praise band around 4-ish, a couple testimonies around 5, dinner, and then the Seventh Day Slumber concert at 7 o'clock. So it's going to be a really awesome event for families to come down. If somebody wants to come and don't have a bike or don't have a side-by-side or whatever it is that people are going to be riding, they are welcome to sponsor a bike or sponsor a side-by-side. I think there may even be some Jeeps and stuff going to take the ride. You know what I mean? But it's all for a good cause. It's all to raise money, and it's all doing God's work, man. It's all about Jesus. You know, there's going to be a lot of Celebrate Recovery programs there, wanting to just put the word out that they have programs in place for people who have hang-ups and addictions and stuff that they need to work on, and surround themselves with good people. So it's a good place to meet everybody in that whole scene, and to find out some good plug-ins from anywhere that anybody's living at.
No, I like it, man. So you're going to be doing, so Friday night, you're going to be doing your testimony. I think a lot of people listening to the show right now will find that very, very interesting. I always encourage people to go out and listen to good testimonies from people who have kind of been through the fire, so to say. And, you know, and just know that you may be dealing with some struggles in your life, but maybe they're worse, maybe they're not as bad as what somebody else went through, but you can draw encouragement from somebody else getting on the other side of it. So, man, if y'all are able to, get out there at a Trinity Wesleyan Church in Byram Friday night around 7.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here looking at the tentative schedule, and I think so. I'm not really sure what time I'm giving my testimony, but I'm gonna think around 7-ish.
Yeah.
You know, Friday evening everything starts around 3 and it's over about 9:30. So I'm pretty sure I'll be speaking sometime between 7 and 9. I know that much.
Yeah, once people get off work and got time to get there.
That's right.
Sounds good. And then Saturday is the bike show and charity ride and all that stuff. So if people don't, you know, obviously like a guy like me, I don't have a bike, but if I want to come out and break bread, there's going to be a bunch of people out there mixing and mingling, and that the opportunity is there.
Exactly right, man. Exactly right. And you're going to be and just mingling with some really good people, some awesome people, some good men and women of God who just want to minister and do God's work, man. You know, and so what better people to hang out with on a Saturday than people like that?
Amen, brother. Amen. Well, Benny, look, man, I know you're busy, brother. I appreciate you. I kept you a segment longer than you had time for, but I was just fired up thinking about the music stuff this morning and kind of looking in the mirror. That's my big thing is, you know, we got to look in the mirror before we point in another direction. And, you know, anyway, I was taking a trip down memory lane this morning.
I agree with that 100%, bro. You know, I spent a lot of my years corrupting people. You know, when it came to Simon City Roll, I was a crusader for that, man. Simon City Roll and crystal meth, I pretty much worshipped that stuff. You know what I mean? And, you know, once I turned my life around, man, and once I got solid on my feet good enough to where, you know, I had a sustainable, solid life, then God put it on my heart to start working with kids because, you know, I know that Jesus' mercy and grace has saved me. I know that. I know I'm redeemed, but I still feel like I need to make amends on this earth. And I've corrupted so many people. I've put so many people down in the organization. I had so many people doing meth. You know, now I feel like now I'm trying to make amends for myself on this earth by trying to rebuild some of the communities that I once helped to destroy, which is our slogan for our strong arms, rebuilding communities that we once helped to destroy, you know. So that's why I do what I do, man. And I just hope that we can make a difference, not just in Jackson, but surrounding areas. You know, I live in Rankin County, and that's just as important to me as Jackson.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, brother. Well, look, man, we love you, and I will see you out there this weekend. I'm definitely coming out Friday night to hear your testimony.
Bet that. Appreciate it. Love you, brother.
All right, man. Take it easy. Raise hell, praise Dale.
That's right. Yeah, baby.
All right, bye.
All right, brother.
Bye. The raise hell, praise Dale thing, I went to Talladega with Benny a few weeks ago, and I bet you I said that 8,772 times on that trip. And if I never say it again, if Benny Ivey never hears me say that again, it'll be too soon. All right, man, we're going to take a break real quick, come back, and land the plane for the day with a little bit more than 2 or 3 minutes left. So I got a few things I want to get off my chest. I got some text from the Guns and Gear text line I want to read. And if you want to get in a phone call, the Mac Hiker Flowwood phone line, 601-879-0002. We'll be right back on The Clay Edwards Show. All right, welcome back into The Clay Edwards Show. This last segment is going to be brought to you by Take a Break Deliveries. They're adding more and more locally owned restaurants every day. Check them out. If you would like to keep your money local, respect your local dollars, support Take a Break Deliveries. You can go to takeabreakdeliveries.com. You can download the app from your app store of choice. They send out daily promo codes for discounts on delivery fees. I mean, heck, yesterday's Taco Tuesday discount was $5 off the delivery fee. So that's phenomenal. If it's your first time ordering, use the discount code or promo code CLAY601 with a capital C. Let them know you heard it here on the Clay Edwards Show. You're supporting us without having to spend a penny with us, and that's pretty awesome in my opinion. So whether you need beer, food, or dry goods delivered to your home, Take a Break Deliveries. They also deliver liquor if there's a liquor store in your area, if that's your thing. So check them out, takeabreakdeliveries.com, locally owned, veteran owned, and here to serve you. They wait on the food doesn't wait on them. Fresh, hot, and ready. All right, some of you may have noticed last night I reluctantly had to start another Facebook page. I sent out a bunch of requests. I started a new Auto Armor Facebook page. It's Auto Armor by Clay Edwards. So if you see that, it's legit. It's me. If you get a friend request from me, it is me. I have not been hacked. I got put back in Facebook jail for 30 days. I was like, I got to set up a backup account. So that's what I did. And so with all that said, if you get a friend request from me, it's legit. Or if you want to search me out, it's Clay Edwards. It's the one where the profile's got the Auto Armor logo as the top photo, not my profile picture, but the banner photo. So anyhow, I want to thank Benny Ivey for coming on, and I really love talking to Benny because he's lived that life and he's doing his part to right his wrongs and all that. Whether you agree with the violence interrupter stuff or not, or you think that's going to work, I give all the credit to those guys for trying it, because what we're currently doing is not working. And we can all say, well, this reason or that reason. I definitely don't think you replace police with violence interrupters and credible messengers, but I think you add them to the mix. And we as Christians, especially conservative Christians, we're very big on saying if it saves just one life, when it fits our narratives, we need to keep that same energy with this other stuff. It doesn't have to necessarily fit a narrative, a political narrative. If a credible messenger saves just one life, then it's all worth it, right? We use that when we defend our stance on abortion and good guys with guns and all that, if it saves just one life. So that's kind of the mindset I use when I think about the credible messengers and the strong arms and the violence interrupters and all that stuff. Anyway, I digress, but shout out to Benny. Y'all get out there Friday, Saturday night, Trinity Wesleyan Church. I will post the flyer on the Save Jackson Facebook page here shortly. If you have any questions about it, you can reach out and I'll answer anything I can. Let's see here. I guess that's really about it, man. We got about a minute left. The podcast will be available. Just go search Clay Edwards Show. You can search ClayEdwardsShow.com. It'll all be there. And just pray for this city. And I know a lot of you do, but man, it isn't a death spiral, a Democrat death culture, as Kim Wade calls it, I believe. It's in a death spiral. Every time you turn around, there's 14 and 15-year-olds killing another 14 and 15-year-old or a 12-year-old. They arrested a third person now involved with the killing of that 12-year-old last week. So that makes one dead kid and 3 lives that are going to be ruined. Most likely. I mean, presumably if the justice system does its part, that's 3 people that will spend 10, 20, 30 years in jail. Ruined. All over an incident for nothing. 4 lives. And then the butterfly effect of that. The families of those people and the ripple effect and the kids they don't have. And I'm not necessarily, that might not be a bad thing for some of them. But nonetheless, the end is near, my friends. Get right with Jesus. Get right with Jesus. All right, man, you listen to the Clay Edwards Show. Jim Thorne is up next, followed by Mike Madison, Dana Jameson, and Kim Wade. I'll see y'all tomorrow with Anson B. Walker. Peace.
Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. as the Clay Edwards Show discusses all that is going on in and around the city of Jackson.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Right here on 103.9 WYAB.